one, yeah?
Yes, points back for that guy. Let the fun begin with 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 Days, Reunion Madness Part 1, because they're splitting it up, and you know what? It had its moments. It did not disappoint. Niles is a fun one, trying to look tough, that's for sure. Adnan was absolutely who he was, and he showed it over and over. Brian tried to be the voice of reason when he can't look in the mirror, and Loren was unapologetically himself. What can we expect? But before we get started, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. If you want to support the channel, drop a super thanks. I definitely appreciate it. And also, make sure you tune in for the live show Wednesdays at 8 p.m. We did one last week, and it's going to be ongoing. Reality Train Wreck. Y'all are amazing for the support that you have given. Let's get started and see where these couples stand now. Who's laid to or who stays together, maybe laid together, but who is still together, who is not together, who is gonna fall apart. All of that, I assume, will be answered, but most of them are lying anyway, so it becomes fun of analyzing the whole situation.
I mean, I might have unconventional views compared to some of the other people that are here today, but I mean, like, it's not their relationship. Why do they care?
Exactly. And look, you don't care. Look, you know what he is? You know what he looks like? He's like Macaulay Culkin or Kevin McAllister in Home Alone if they left him behind in New York City. He's finally made one with the pigeon. He's just accepted that he's a little bit different. And, you know, he kind of just gets by, but he got them Home Alone vibes for sure.
Bro. Yeah.
What the man?
Right.
I just worry about sexual disease
What?
and then you're falling off.
Of course.
You know?
Why is Brian trying to be the arbiter of virtue here when he had nothing but lies, completely just was disingenuine, 4 marriages, 3 engagements, clearly he's looking for something that ain't there and it ain't love, and he made it seem like, or he didn't just make it seem like, he explicitly said he's looking for a caregiver, and yet, dude, I'm just trying to do what's best for you, man, and that's just who he's trying to be. He's trying to do some image repair here, and it is interesting.
Advice from like Loren or Brian or any of them. Like I don't consider them to, I don't know, be like someone that should be giving advice at all.
And who are you? Who are you? Who is this guy? This guy right here, like trying to give advice, and he's joked before, and I get it. He's joking some of the time, like I'm just likable. Everyone likes me, but he's not going to take advice from them. Sure, I completely agree. Do not take advice from them, but don't act like you are on a different level. That is the basic, constant we have here, is that they all think they are on a separate level, but all of them, with the exception of possibly Vanya, have lied. And she had her own problems, but I can't really think of where she lied. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the rest of them, pretty much all of them lied at one point or another.
Being able to do this.
I can't do it with Niles. I can't do the squishy. Matilda, I'm going to squishy you. Squishy. Matilda. Like, I cannot do it with him. This fool gotta grow up a little bit or something, because damn, he's very childish. I think he's very enamored with Matilda, and to a level that's great. But damn, dude, you're being a little much.
I think he'll be very opinionated.
Yes, he will. Look what he looks like. He looks like Middle Eastern Kevin Federline trying to be important when he's with the person who has all the money. That's who he's got vibes of. He comes in here with an ego that God knows where he got it from. And he always had it. He always had kind of the entitlement, like what I say goes, all that stuff. But damn, this fool walked in there with a whole nother level. And we'll get to some of that. So make sure you stay tuned.
I'm the man, I'm the boss, and you're going to do as I say. And that's not the way a healthy relationship works.
Because Vanya knows how a healthy relationship works. Vanya, who jumped from bozo to the next best person on a dating app, knows what's best for a relationship. Now, I will point out, she's not wrong. The whole control dynamic in their relationship obviously has some issues, and he definitely thinks he's, he can do what he wants, he can say what he wants, and, Tigerlilly's got to listen or whatever. I get that. So he's wrong there. But again, we're to the same point of why on earth do any of them think that they can be the arbiter of truth for any of the relationships? Even Vanya, who I said I don't think she lied, because she has a desperation about her that really she shouldn't be advising on relationships either.
It's insecurity, man, and it's not sexy.
Oh, it's insecurity. It's not sexy. You mean like how you threw a tantrum when Ingrid did anything that you didn't like when Ingrid didn't want to sleep with you and she got a little turned off when you tried to show her the condom catheter? But no, it's okay. The maturity is what the problem is. My man, take a look in the mirror. Talking about maturity, what are you even saying here? Like, you're one of the most immature people here. And he talks later on, and we'll get to some of those clips, about age and things like that. But if we're talking age, then he's even worse off because he's a lot older and acts even more immature than Adnan in some cases, for sure.
One of our couples is not here with us. Renee and Chitty will not be joining us tonight.
No!
We wish them both.
No! That's my favorite one. I'm really disappointed that they aren't there, so I can't just tear apart Renee and, just kind of feel bad for Chitty, because damn. But, Renee, crazy, insane Shelley Duvall of a person who, and you know what? Shelley Duvall is probably, or was probably, a lovely person, and rest in peace to Shelley Duvall. But I'm thinking more in terms of just how she looked on, like, The Shining and things like that, because that is what Renee looked like, with the added, negativity of being crazy in the head, and she lost it. So I'm kind of sad she didn't come back to try to, put the positive spin so we can see what's really going on. Oh, I think, you know what? I think they're trying to make him look like some sort of English newsboy or something. But, it's all right. It's a cute baby. I feel the need to put that up there just to say, look, for all Adnan's fault, they made a cute baby. So, good for them. They're trying to make him look like a little newsboy of sorts. But hey, it's adorable. So I give you your props where it's due.
Has it been since you have seen your husband?
Good question.
It's been a long time.
How many?
10 months.
10 months. This coming from the fool who said 2 months, Mr. Ark. Okay, 3 months, Mr. Ark. 4 months, Mr. Okay, 5 months, Mr. Ark. That's my final bid. And here we are, 10 months. Shocker. It didn't work out like he said, and he was just BSing Mr. Ark the whole way through, because he really had no clue how long it actually would be. And he wasn't prepared at all, so just need to point that out, that it's actually at this point, at the point of the reunion, twice as long as the final bid he put in.
I just want to be true love and to be loved, but I think it's very hard to fight, to accept for who I am. Because, I'm a lady boy, no one's loved me.
This is Faith trying to make excuses for why the relationship continues, when in reality, you're talking about, I just want someone to love me. Loren never loved you. That's the problem, and that's the realization that Faith is really struggling with, because Loren always had a reason behind it. Loren always had something he was trying to do. He was always trying to get to another country, fleeing his child support, obligations or whatever, and he's still sending money over there, but there's always a reason behind it, and that's the problem. It is not love. Loren will cheat on you, lie to you the second he gets a chance, and doesn't care at all. So time to wake up, Faith.
No, we were sitting there for a good half an hour.
Talking about the knife incident with the butter knife tapping it on his hand.
I was just tapping away. I just got nervous.
And you couldn't think of anything else to do at that moment besides stabbing your hand with an
This is insane. This is absolutely insane. Niles decided that during this tell-all, he's just going to act like he's tough, and he's just going to go in on everybody. Now, mind you, it's all on the set, and it's like, I feel a little empowered because he feels like probably nothing's going to happen, but decides that you just felt like you need to stab. I'm sorry. You just felt like you need to stab your hand? Did you not think that was something that could be maybe problematic? Maybe it could be threatening? Come on, Loren. Come on. Like, he really feels like he's going in on something that's true. If you see the clip, he literally just goes, and then puts it down as soon as Faith says something. Now, is it an odd gesture? Sure. Do I really think it was threatening? No. I don't think it was threatening at all. I think he was mad that it didn't go the way he thought, and he was just kind of like pissed off and didn't really know, was just kind of being uncomfortable and making Faith uncomfortable as well. Wrong, yes. Now, Niles, look in the mirror, buddy. You were lying the whole way through. So, look, I don't really have much of a problem with Niles and Matilda as a relationship at this point, do you? But don't act like, again, you have some virtue that all these others, you're better than all these others. You have your issues too.
Did Loren text you and tell you he was having sex with these people or not?
So, Loren decided to reveal that it was a little bit more than just saying he was sleeping at other people's houses, assuming like Faith understood. He's saying he actually said that he was having sex with them, and there are messages to prove it. So this is where the host is doing a follow-up good on her for that.
I don't know if I can remember that one.
You would remember. You would absolutely remember that. This is the problem here. And as we're going to see going through, there's a theme. And that is that it seems like Loren is being ridiculously open, even though he did lie plenty of times. Almost everything that's brought up, it's pretty much alluded to the fact that Loren is telling Faith things, and Faith is just kind of riding with it. Now, is there an ulterior motive, or is it really just Faith wants to be loved? That's the question. But it seems like Loren is telling Faith. Now, does that make it right? No, it doesn't make it right that he sleeps with anything with a pulse. It doesn't make it right that he gets STDs and doesn't tell you until after he finds out it's confirmed, even though he was leaking beforehand. None of it makes it right, but it does add an extra layer to it. Loren, still a bad person. Of course.
And then I'm like, well, if I still have a ticket to the Philippines, I have to go find love for real, right? And then I started talking to Faith.
Oh, and you know what he's saying? The logic behind this is that someone scammed him. Now, he says it was a pyramid scheme. I don't know why he calls it that. It was just a scam. Someone played him, got him to send a bunch of money, which I guess means his kids that he's not paying child support on didn't get to eat. So good for you, Loren. And then he bought a ticket thinking he was going to go over there and found out it was a scam. He kept the ticket and then met Faith not long before, and then that's how it rolled out. This was not a plan for Faith to begin with, which again makes it even more interesting because it just goes to show that Loren's trying to flee. Loren's an opportunist. Loren's looking for what Loren wants. He never cares about what the other person wants, that's for sure. It's never going to be some sort of relationship which is supposed to be coming together, cohabitating, cohesive, partnership, all of those things that a relationship's supposed to be will never be that way with whoever is with Loren.
During the 1 week we were apart, I did have sex.
Oh my gosh, during the 1 week, I did do that. Yeah, that sounds about like Loren. And by the way, he goes on to say, I told Faith, and Faith acknowledges. So he is telling Faith things, but I don't believe that it was only during that week. I believe he opened up about it because he's like, oh, I have this week period where I can basically fess up and then make it seem like that's all that happened. So it was an opportunistic thing, but I will say he is being more open than is being led on by Faith.
Loren?
Yeah.
There are 5 types of people in this world. You are the last 2 that I cannot stand.
What are the first 3?
Stupid and evil.
You're stupid because I'm so smart. Listen here, Loren, I am so smart. You are stupid and evil, and you're evil because you did things that were not good. Now, I acknowledge Loren is not a good person. Maybe Loren is even evil. But Niles is, again, he took this opportunity to try to be on camera looking tough. Like, I don't know what he was thinking. He built himself up. All of a sudden, everything is, I have to mask. I have to mask when I get in uncomfortable situations. But all of a sudden, he's good saying, I'm just going to tear apart people. Of course, on camera with security all around. So I can look like, I don't know if he's trying to rehab his image or what he's trying to do, because he didn't look the best either. He wasn't the worst, but he didn't look the best. I don't know what this is, or he's just like, I need to look tough so people think I'm a tough guy and try to show Matilda that I can protect her. But this is not the way, my man. You just look kind of dumb. So you're saying he's stupid, which I would argue you might be right about Loren, because he's kind of fallen for all kinds of different things. But are you the sharpest knife in the drawer?
Hi, everybody. Nice to see you. Hi, Vanya.
Yes, points back for that guy. I'm sorry, but you get points for that. And you know what? I'm going to give it back. Bojo, here's your man card for about 2 seconds till I rip it back away because you're an idiot. But I love the reaction. I love the comedy. Good for... Hi, everybody. Hello, Vanya. That was nice. That was nice. I like that guy a little bit more. Not much. I still don't like you, but a little bit more. Okay, this is... I'm going to read it for you and leave the host out of this one. This is supposedly a text message that was sent to Vanya from the ex-girlfriend. I'm wondering if you could tell me when you guys started talking, how often he was supposedly going to propose to me in December, but I broke up with him first and I think he was going to talk to me then, blah, blah, blah. I feel like he emotionally cheated on me and with you for an entire year and he refused to be honest. Okay, so the issue with this is that once you're on a TV show, the people can come out of the woodwork. This is just a text message sent to Vanya. How they got the number? That's a good question. I wonder if the producers fed it to a person so they could do this to get drama. Maybe they sent them some sort of message online and she gave them the number so she could get something. This could be anyone. So even though I don't find joy in defending Bojo, Bozo, my man over there. But I do think we need to mention that it's interesting that someone always seems to come out of the woodwork when it's convenient, like this. Now, was he genuine? No. I think he definitely had something else going on, and it was interesting that, all this chemistry, all this, once you get there, it's not there. Yes, things can be different in person. I get it. But you need to know that going in, that you need to stop trying to act like you're deeply in love and all these things, and then you get there, and then it's like nothing because there's no physical chemistry. That was kind of a fault on both your parts in some level. Now, he was not genuine for sure, and he probably did have a girlfriend. But we need to take these with a grain of salt.
To repeat my mistakes in the future.
So what was your mistake?
Yes.
Sometimes I try to give the best of me and it becomes worse.
Sometimes I am just so amazing, it becomes not good, if you know what I'm saying. I am just too good for everybody, and I am sorry for that I am just fantastic. I love the answer that's like the humble brag, which is like, I'm trying to make it seem like I'm amazing while saying, this is what I did and this is my fault. When in reality, it's like, you didn't admit a damn thing, my friend. But, kudos to him for trying.
You need to stay here and have a conversation because you
2 hours,
owe
2
it
hours.
to me.
Look at this fool. He let balloons raise out like he's partying and leaving. That he's like 2 hours late for a meeting. By the way, they mentioned that it's like 10 p.m. there, so obviously he's just trying to jet up out of there. I think he's got a sense of humor a little bit, and he's like joking halfway, but just looking for an out, so all right, whatever. They had like a relationship for like 2 seconds while he was there, and I think it was like 7 months or something, which sucks, and I felt bad for her with that. But she had her own issues when she jumps back into the next best thing, which ends up being another messed up one, which we'll get to.
Where does that stand today?
Well,
yes.
Adnan took back the power of attorney.
Oh, great, Adnan.
Yeah, so Thayer does not
Look at his face, though. Gotta love his face when she's saying this.
have power of attorney anymore.
Uh-huh. So the interesting thing about that is that his reaction mostly, but she's saying that he took it back. I'll take their word for it that that's been confirmed, that he's not just lying, I guess, but it wouldn't shock me if he's lying about it. But then they do mention, because he says, I have businesses over there, and it's for him to be able to do things with my business. So someone mentions, is it a business power of attorney? Because you can do specific powers of attorney. And she says, no, it was for everything. That's the problem. Not a specific thing like, hey, I need you to do these things with this business or whatever. But when it's everything, because then he can have access to all the bank accounts, he can just clear out everything. So duly noted that it was basically a power of attorney for everything. But kudos to him if he reversed it and said, all right, whatever. Power to him for that. I don't know if I buy he actually did, though.
If I was in her position, I would want to do everything in my power to protect what I have.
Oh, yeah. Except for the fact, Vanya, that you're the one that just really desperately runs after whatever's in front of you, which is weird because it seems like you could probably get a nice enough guy wherever you go, but yet you go on a dating app, find the one guy posing on the beach who has the back knee showing, yeah, I'm juiced to the gills, and you jump on it, but yet you're going to say, I would make sure to get a prenuptial agreement. Maybe you would. All I'm saying is in relationships, you don't always make the best decisions.
You have worked so hard for your money, and so it's not just that your heart could be broken, you could lose money.
She's worked so hard for her money. The only thing that Tigerlilly has mentioned was going through a divorce and getting money on the other side of it. So I'm not sure what hard work for her money looks like. Maybe she's got businesses now, and that's fantastic. But she's really laid into the fact that she got money from the divorce. Now, she does mention that the divorce was a very controlling one. Maybe it was, I don't know, and it's good she's out if that's the case. But someone, Vanya saying because, she has 4 jobs or whatever, you work really hard for your money, I don't think it's the same exactly.
ما في قوانين لأن أنا وعدنان أو أنا أي حدا من أولادي ما بسمح لهم.
Yeah.
Interesting concept there. So what that was a never before seen clip where apparently Tigerlilly had a conversation with Adnan's mom, where Adnan's mom basically said, I did not raise them to be that strict like that, to oppress their wives. Now, oppress, depending on how you view it in this sense, Adnan's not viewing anything as oppression, and they go on to explain things. But it is interesting that Adnan, by his mother's admission, was not raised that way, but yet he is very in the sense of, I'm the head of the household, I'm going to control you, in that kind of sense. And The issue with this was that, and this is the problem, or part of the problem with it, is that Tigerlilly jumped right into it. She kept going. She got married quickly. She accepted a lot of this. She would push back a little bit and then just kind of accept it. So it sends mixed signals of, are you okay with it or are you not? Because in your marriage, y'all are going to be kind of responsible for what's okay and what's not. You can walk away. You can say no, whatever. So how's that going to be? Because now she kind of seems like she's okay with whatever. Adnan's not going to change. Adnan is Adnan.
Adnan considers Tigerlilly his equal.
We have created a new supervillain. That laugh is actually normal, but I imagine it's like, ha 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 ha. Matilda, do you hear me laughing? Like, my God, this fool went full blown, like, evil villain. I'm telling you, it is bizarre. It is bizarre what he did in this show. The whole thing with this season is I like uncomfortable or I don't like uncomfortable situations. I need to mask myself. All of a sudden, he just feels empowered to go after whoever and say everyone else is doing these things wrong. For one, like I said, take a look in the mirror. You had your own faults. For two, it's just kind of weird after all of that. Now you're perfectly fine with it. I do say that, it is because, again, that there's a lot of people on set and he doesn't think anyone's actually going to fight him or anything like that. But it's a little bit of a weird situation.
All right, if you say so.
You can't handle it.
I can't handle it.
Oh my God.
Adnan has walked off.
So he did end up walking off after a little bit of pushback. He was laughing the whole time, but then got really mad when they basically said she can't speak for herself. Which, it kind of comes off that way, and he definitely is a 23-year-old throwing temper tantrums. Not the best combination for a marriage. Also, one of the many reasons why it was probably not the best idea to immediately be like, hey, we're going to get pregnant. But, now you have a beautiful baby, so now you got to figure out how to deal with it. But you still have a man-child who is just storming off because he's mad.
Well, if a man tells me I have a small mind, I would have something to say about that and not just take it.
Okay, so it maybe so. Maybe she would have something to say about that. That's very possible. But I will point out the fact that she really was so desperate. It is not becoming of you with how desperate you were. Immediately after Bojo did his thing, you jumped onto the next best thing. Even if that was a storyline, even if they just got Joshko out of nowhere, even though it seems like they really did sleep together and do all this, even if they drew him out of nowhere, still, you let the storyline ride out like that you're still not making a good case for yourself. And I would do this, but you didn't, though.
You're 23 now. This is the truth. You changed, bro.
And when you're
You
20
changed and we evolved.
You can't understand me.
Ah, yes.
Bro.
I said the same exact thing just 4 years ago when I was
20 years old.
You're 20, you're shooting, and you're...
Yeah, you're 20, you're shooting, and you're in a chair.
Because I was a hard-headed young man like you.
You didn't following a religion.
Okay, now I don't know about him not following the religion, but it's interesting that he says you were 20, you were doing drugs, you were and then a shooting, and then now you're in a wheelchair. That's what he said. Niles is irrelevant, trying to come in here like I did that 4 years ago. I don't even know what he's saying. Like, okay, Niles, whatever. You're kind of irrelevant right now. So it's interesting that was said, because listen to Brian in the next segment.
Just realizing that his age at 23, he's got room to grow.
Oh.
And I was telling him some things, and then he said to me, you're a guy in a wheelchair. What are you going to teach me?
That is not what he said even a little bit. He comes off and says, so he said, you're a guy in a wheelchair. What are you going to teach me? Making it seem like he said, simply because you're in a wheelchair. No, what he said is, because of all the things you did, and you guys were in a shooting, and now you're in a wheelchair, how can you tell me anything? You did. And oh, by the way, he was not wrong, considering that Brian has not learned a damn thing. He's still lying. He's still bouncing from person to person. He still can't get his life together, but he wants to tell everyone else like he has some crazy insight. My man, the person that listens, you show me a person that listens to you with your insight, and I'll show you a dumb person. Because now, maybe that's not the rest of the term, not a dumb person, but someone who is naive. Because once you spend a few seconds with you, or a few minutes, once you get a few stories, you come off as disingenuine. Now, I get it. We've watched this whole season. We've seen you. We've seen all the lies. But it wouldn't take much for someone to be like, I don't know about this guy. And yet, now you're going to lie right to everyone's face. Congratulations, Brian. You're still a liar.
Especially for people who don't have thousands of dollars lying around.
Oh, okay. Doesn't work that quickly. Talking about the visa process. Why are you trying to say, like, act like you just learned this? You said on camera while you were there that I don't know much about the visa process, so it could be a lot longer. It could be, I've heard it can be 2 years. But yet you acted like now you just learned about this? Niles. This is why I say Niles isn't better than any of them. Niles is just another liar like most of them.
Okay, so you know my parents were against the relationship to start with,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay, so repeat your question again with that in mind, and you'll understand why.
Like, he has got snark. He has just got like hatefulness in him. Like, Niles is just a hateful person right now. Like, so Vanya asked if his parents would be willing to help. We all heard the phone call that quite possibly could have been staged. Hello, father. Why? Listen here, father. Like, that whole thing. But maybe his parents aren't on camera. Maybe they just don't want to be on camera and they created this whole storyline. That's possible. But even if they don't agree with it, I mean, it would make sense. And he goes on to say, when they asked why don't they, he said, because they think she might be a scammer. And okay, it's not like this hasn't happened before. And oh, by the way, they've never met this person. And guess what? You went over there, got married, came back, still haven't been able to get it done. So why would your parents be anything but kind of questioning, wondering, and yet you want to have snark with everyone else because you can't get it done?
They think she's a scammer.
Oh, God, they think she's a scammer. Oh, that couldn't possibly be anything ever, like it's never happened before. Now, maybe she's not. Maybe she's not. Okay, fine. I acknowledge that there's a good possibility she's not a scammer. But the fact that he's like laughing about it, like they think she is, like, because he feels a certain way, everyone else doesn't see the outside world for what it typically is, which is that people scam things. People do, especially relationships over the internet. That's other countries. That's here in the United States. It doesn't always trend to just other countries. In the United States, plenty of people get scammed with other people in the United States. Happens all the time. So for him to act like his parents wouldn't be a little suspicious and he's like laughing about it, that's low intelligence, man. Low intelligence, bro, chacho.
When you dress...
Now, he's asking this question because Niles has been really pushing back against Adnan. Now, a lot of it, rightfully so. I think plenty of people should be pushing back on Adnan. It's just interesting how Niles is doing it. So he decides to ask a follow-up question about how they dress and what Niles would feel.
Something, and people looking to your body and saying nice things to your body, and your husband be okay with that, not jealous on you? Or you rather to be with jealous husband?
Yes, he wouldn't be jealous because he appreciates other men.
Let Matilda answer.
Let Matilda answer. Okay.
Matilda answer.
You feel jealous.
And she says immediately what he doesn't think she's going to say, which is that he would be jealous. Now, does that mean anything? No, I mean, if he's jealous, he's jealous. But it's just hilarious that he was so sure that she was going to say he wouldn't be jealous. And yet, there you are. He's like, oh no, just matter of fact, he would absolutely be jealous. And that is just hilarious.
No, I wouldn't.
No, look at his face.
I've never felt jealous of that.
Look at him. Look at him. He's just having a good old time. Now, again, it's just funny because Niles throwing stones in a glass house kind of thing, because you got your own plenty of issues you got going on, so you might want to stop.
Adnan, thank you.
You're really funny. Look at him.
What we have? We have Sugar Daddy and Matilda. What we have?
Oh, good Lord. He's getting under his skin.
Adnan.
Look.
What?
He doesn't know what he wants to say.
I will break your face.
No, you won't. You will not break his face. Now, he's building up because they're going to have a confrontation. Okay. So, Niles, now, after all of this, after being snarky the whole time, Adnan, after storming out and acting like a child, comes back, collects himself, and decides, you know what, I'm going to go after Niles a little bit. So what does Niles do? Immediately fall apart like he was, joking on Adnan, just kind of like in the same way, and goes to, I will break your face. No, you won't. I'll tell you that right now, buddy. You are not breaking anyone's face. But okay, you keep talking like that because you know security's going to jump in. Fine. But here we are. And that is going to lead us into the next part next week. Madness will absolutely ensue. And you know what? It seems like it's ramping up a little bit. So I think it's going to be even more intense the next time. I'm not sure if it's a 2 or 3-parter. But next week it's going to be even more intense. So we will be here for that. Thank you for joining me. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. If you want to support the channel, drop a super thanks. I really appreciate it. Also, tune in on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. for Reality Trainwreck, the live version. Reality Trainwreck IRL. I appreciate all y'all's support. I look forward to seeing y'all, and I will see y'all next time.